Hey Shwetank, hi, how are you today?
Hey Priyesh, all well, all well. Hey everybody, I'm Shwetank, and I've had about 6 years of experience in investment banking. I was applying for the second time around for my MBA. Currently, I am actually a part of the Fall 22 class for UCLA Anderson. And having worked with the consulting team at LilacBuds for about 4 to 6 months, our conversations and preparations have really helped me throughout this entire process. And they were instrumental in me getting my $70,000 scholarship at Anderson.
Awesome. Thank you, Shwetank, for that. So Shwetank, moving on, right? I think when you came to us, you had some specific concerns when you started off the process. You must have consulted other people as well. How did our team help you understand the process and make you feel confident to work with us?
Absolutely. So picking a consultant from your MBA is one of the most difficult experiences because it's very hard to really sift through everyone and find sort of objective comparisons between all of them. What really differentiated Lilac Buds for me was my initial conversation with Mr. Rajiv Ganju, who was also my consultant throughout the journey. What really was differentiating there was the amount of empathy he showed in terms of for me as a student and the level of interest that he had with me. There was absolutely undivided attention from his part, and I really felt that sort of connection with him, which is something I would advise to all future MBA aspirants that working with a consultant is more about being at the same wavelength than it is about their previous track record or their future or what they promised you. So that is really what got me to Lilac Buds was I had that conversation with Mr. Ganju.
Thank you so much for those kind words. Shwetank, moving on, which B schools did you apply to? And can you share what admission scholarships did you receive?
Sure. So I did about 5 applications. I had a very narrow criteria. I wanted to be in a big city, absolutely, and I wanted to go to schools that would place very well into investment banking, since that was sort of my trajectory. So I applied to LBS, NYU, UCLA Anderson, Chicago Booth, and Wharton.
Okay.
And out of these, I ended up getting about I would say 3 interview invites and which translated into 2 admits and a wait list. So I was admitted into NYU and UCLA Anderson, and I was waitlisted out at LBS.
Okay. And the one scholarship at UCLA, was that the only one or there was another scholarship?
No, I only got a scholarship at UCLA. It was $70,000 over there. And checking from the range of sort of scholarships that were at the school, I'd fall into sort of the top 85th percentile for how much they normally give out for Indian applicants.
Oh, super. So then I think the choice was quite clear where you were headed after you have the two admits. Nice. So specifically, I know you called out Rajiv. How was your experience working with him? Was there additional support from other mentors on the team? And the experience working on the Lilac Buds portal in terms of connecting, communicate, keeping yourself organized. Can you share that?
Absolutely. So the Lilac Buds portal is actually a very handy tool in terms of both scheduling, managing your documentation, and it really helped keep the process structured and streamlined, which was very important when you're juggling multiple things, including your own career as well as applications. It really helped keep the timelines in place. I primarily worked with Rajiv, although I believe there were some also editors and some further reviews that were conducted down the line. um, but working with him was absolutely phenomenal. It was an introspective journey, and it is a two-way street. So how much you give, you get. And with Rajiv, you could give one and get back 10. So that was absolutely phenomenal.
I would like you to give some specific advice, if possible, on what should applicants who have not been successful the first time around look for the second time? How to move through, power through that rejection in the first attempt and really get to their dream universities.
Absolutely. So, one of the key things about the B school process that everyone needs to realize is that it is not a judgment of your self-worth. Getting rejections, etc., can be very difficult and very challenging. but one needs to understand there are a lot of circumstances and factors that go into these processes, and sometimes it could just be a quota and they might not have you. In terms of advice I would give to other students, one of the key things one should do, and this is probably the longest and the most time consuming portion, but also the most value addition you can do throughout your applications, which is to talk to people at the school. Two conversations seem is probably the minimum, but I would advise to talk to as many people as you can. Applicants from your own home country, applicants from your that are locals or domestic over there, and other applicants that are looking at the same goals. I think nothing gives you more perspective. You should talk to people that are within the school. You should talk to alumni that have graduated out of the school, and you should also try to get in touch with people who are applying to the school, because the more information and input you get, the better you can be prepared for the entire process.
Great. Okay. Lastly, I think if you had, now that you're already on campus, right, at UCLA right now, how is the feeling being on campus, having this journey come to fruition, and starting your B school journey?
So this is a bit surreal because we've just gone through the first week of orientation, and every sort of blood, sweat, and tear that was poured into this process has now come worthwhile. I can't even begin. So I was aiming at doing an MBA from all the way back in 2016 when I joined my first job. So right now, there's no other word I can use except surreal, because I actually don't believe that I'm here. The feeling sort of hasn't sunk in yet. But it is incredible. It is really worth all the effort and every bit of it.
Great. Thank you so much, Shwetank, for taking the time to do the testimonial.
Thanks, Priyash. Thank you, Rajiv, and thank you, LilacBuds.